I wish I had a prenuptial agreement. Where's my prenup? My goodness, why didn't we sign a prenup? I can't believe I don't have a prenup. If only we had a prenup. Did you know that at one point in time I asked her to sign a prenup? Or I asked him to sign a prenup? Well, here we are. For whatever reason, you decided not to sign a prenup. You trusted your partner. You thought your marriage would last forever. You thought your storybook romance was just that for the storybooks. Endlessly, never endingly rather, everlastingly love. Instead, what have you? You're now in the throes of a divorce. And instead of stating in the prenup that there will be no alimony, or that there will be a defined amount of alimony based on your circumstances when you were married, and rather than having your premarital home put into your name, essentially only irrevocably, not subject to any kind of distribution, equitable or otherwise, during your divorce, instead, everything is now up for grabs. Instead of defining your business interests, instead of ensuring that your business is yours and yours alone, and that it will not become part of a divorce proceeding, instead, now it is a centerpiece of a divorce proceeding. You decided not to sign a prenuptial agreement because you thought it would somehow spoil the romance of your relationship, or it would ruin your relationship. It would create distrust. It would sow the seeds of discontent between you and your significant other. I almost used the word lover, but that would be inappropriate. Now, what are some reasons for thinking that way? Well, if somebody asks you to sign a prenup, is your first reaction, a prenup? Are you kidding me? I'm not signing a prenup. I'm not going to do that. I want to make sure that if I get a divorce from you, that I'm getting my fair share. I'm not sure that if you were asked that question that you would say that. So what's the ultimate reasoning behind denying it? If somebody tells you that they're so insulted and they're so offended, how could you possibly think they want you for your money while telling you that they do not want to sign a prenup in which you're establishing the fact that they're not going to be getting all of your money or at least half of it, and they say no and pretend to be insulted, pretend that you have mortified them, pretend that now there's suddenly a lack of trust? Shouldn't there be a lack of trust if somebody refuses to sign a prenuptial agreement? Aren't they creating that lack of trust? By essentially saying that someday they contemplate a divorce, and if they contemplate a divorce and they want the most they can get at that particular time, as opposed to even right now, they want you when you're more flush, when the timing is appropriate and the timing is right. Don't these suspicions creep into your mind? Isn't, after all, excuse me, isn't a prenuptial agreement, after all, designed to prepare you for the future, to avoid an ugly divorce, at least as far as finances are concerned? Isn't it intended to keep your marriage healthy so that nobody thinks they're going to have a windfall at the end of it if there's a divorce? Isn't it designed to provide the clarity of your relationship and the clarity of your marriage? Isn't it designed to prepare for your future? Isn't it designed to be the ultimate failsafe? If you do not have somebody sign a prenup because you're worried about insulting them, they should be worried about insulting you by not signing that prenuptial agreement. What they're telling you is that they're not happy with getting only what you're offering. They're going to want the maximum amount cash out when the time arrives, however that looks and however that works. Am I wrong? Know that meme where it says, "Tell me where I'm telling lies"? No, I'm not referring to CM Punk, the famous wrestler, but there is a meme that says that, usually with Kermit the Frog or somebody sitting on a bench. A prenuptial agreement should be sought after by both parties. If both parties have some assets, shouldn't they want to protect those assets as they enter into a marriage? If one party has massive debts and the other party has substantial assets, why wouldn't the party with substantial assets want to protect those assets against those debts and liabilities of their future spouse? If you're so afraid of tarnishing your relationship and destroying your relationship by the mere fact that asking somebody for a prenup is somehow insulting, then I ask you this: what is the strength of your relationship anyway? What level of trust do you have anyway? Very little or none. If your relationship is so fragile that asking for somebody to prepare that document with you and to share their assets and liabilities with you for maximum clarity on both sides to ensure that nobody is going to be left destitute, to ensure that nobody's getting a raw deal in the instance of a divorce, and probably even to have a fail-safe against divorce in a sense, that person's going to be insulted. Well, I would really question their motivation. This is not lawyers speak. This is regular person speak. How many times have you said to somebody, guy or girl, I think you really could use a prenup? And they said, oh no, I would never do that to my future spouse. I would never even suggest that. They would be hurt by it. You know who's really hurt by not having a prenup? You. That's who's hurt by not having a prenup. And just so you know, you do matter. Your feelings do matter. Your finances do matter. Your well-being matters. Consider that when considering whether or not a prenuptial agreement is right for you.